All right, let's do it live on a picture-perfect Thursday edition of Cleveland Browns Daily. Merely Beau and the Great Z.
Well, I'll tell you what.
A lot of places we could start here. There's a lot of places.
I think there's only one place we could start.
Yeah, I mean, like either of the things would be.
You decide. How about that?
Well, I know where we have to start, and I'm very excited to start, but also acknowledging that once we start this, it's 25 minutes, which I'm cool with.
Same. There's nothing. Well,
the only other thing we would do is what's on the television.
All right, so you want to set that scene for people in case they're getting that information from
No,
us?
if you care, you know.
Agreed.
If you care, you know. I've got two really good. I can think of two. There's probably more. Two really good friends, and you are among these two.
Oh, thank you.
Who Top Gun is a seminal part of their childhood.
100%.
Beyond even just, oh, it's a great movie. No, like Collecting of Airplanes, Infatuation with the Naval Academy, reader of books on planes, like just a complete immersion completely immersed in the Top Gun.
To tell you just how correct you are about me in particular.
Yeah.
So I wore out 2 VHS tapes of that. I knew every word by heart. I could do the entire script by heart. I built a lot of models as a kid. I had every plane that was in Top Gun. So when I mean every plane, I had it one with Mavericks decals and things, Iceman's decals and things. I had the trainer plane. I had the MiG-29s or whatever they were at the time. MiG-29s, is that what they called them?
MiG-28 or MiG-29, I can't remember.
Maybe MiG-28, yeah. There really are, that makes sense because the MiGs are actually, although I feel like they'd be accurate with it, the MiGs are all actually odd numbers. So there was a MiG-21, there was a MiG-23, MiG-25, the Fox Bat, which looked like an F-14, and then I know there was a MiG-20. Maybe they called it MiG-28. I could be wrong, but I thought that was right. Anyway.
Yeah, MiG-28.
MiG-28 is what it was in the movie?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So then maybe they didn't want it to be like exactly on, or I could be wrong about that too. Nonetheless, I knew everything, made all the models. Halloween, got a jumpsuit from the Navy. My dad knew somebody who was a student of his who went to the Navy. I had a real flight suit. I put the patches on. The exact, Mavericks patches and everything. I had the bomber jacket. I had the shades. I had books, to your point, that were like coffee table books, yay thick, that were every military plane ever. So like when we're watching The Thing last night, I'm like, oh, he's working on a P-51 Mustang. That was our fighter in World War II. And the kids were like, how do you know all these different planes? I said, because that's what I was into. As soon as I said, so it was seminal. I am so upset with myself that I should have been selfish. I'm not a selfish person, but I should have been. I should have said, you know what? Like, we can't coordinate all this stuff with the kids and everything. I'm just going to go to the IMAX. I could have gone even solo.
Yes.
I should have seen it in the IMAX. I'm very upset that I did not.
It's one of the more stunning things of our relationship that it took you this long, and inevitably I think maybe you hearing that I saw it for a second time and then like me peer pressuring you into. I
had to see it in the theater.
You have to, like, I think you even asked on the show on Monday, do I have to see it?
And you're like,
yes, you do.
So like it's funny though, I had been pitching this, and I guess I was the only one in my family that had the zest, and so I needed to be, like I said, more social. But I'd said, we're going to be on vacation for a week. Let's go one afternoon.
Perfect.
And they're like, no, we're on vacation. We're not going to the movie. So that was shot down. But anyway, yes, that was that movie, and in fact, all I wanted to be was a naval aviator. And unfortunately, anybody who knows the actual requirements to be a naval aviator, I am way too tall.
Yep.
And wasn't born with 20/20 vision.
Yep.
So I don't know if they've loosened the rules now with LASIK and stuff, if you can get in with corrected, 20/20 or better vision. But I know that at the time, that's what it was, and you had to be, I think, like 5'10" might be the cutoff, or even lower than that. You cannot be tall.
Yeah.
You cannot be like Modes' son, who flies now the F-35. Not a tall guy. That's part of the deal.
Part of the deal.
So that was out, but it could not have been a bigger. And in fact, my mom, after we watched it, she came last night. Everybody, the whole fam. She was like, I can't believe that. And my kids were like, why weren't you lined up at midnight to watch the first show? And I said, you know what? I should have been, and I wish I could have. It was perfect. Yeah. I mean, when I realized, and they had teased it earlier, that when they showed the runway that they were gonna get involved with at one point, the airfield, that there were F-14s there, and I'm like, please, please.
Yeah.
And I knew I was just like losing. It was as if they went to every possible fan fiction website and had people come up with dream moments, and they were like, we're just going to put all of them in the movie so that everything could be as absolutely perfect and satisfying as it could possibly be, and it was.
Wouldn't it be amazing if we did this? Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, we're good. And we will do that.
Oh, Penny Benjamin? Would you like a Penny Benjamin drop in and Jennifer Connelly just crushes it?
Crushes it.
And like that bar, she's driving a 1973 Porsche 911 that's just perfect. Like,
beautiful.
The whole thing, it is just, you said it. It's perfect.
It was perfect. And right, like that was just a drop-in line in the first movie.
She's referenced twice. She's referenced by "You're going to fly rubber dog blank out of Hong Kong" at that time when Goose says to Mav, "Was it Penny Benjamin?" That, and then Meg Ryan references it as well at the Great Balls of Fire scene. She references Penny Benjamin. But if you aren't, it's not. It's a throwaway name. Like
throwaway. Was it the Admiral's daughter or something
Admiral's
like
daughter?
that?
Yeah, that's right.
So, I mean, yeah, great. I got to tell you, I really enjoy. So I'm watching The Offer, which was really my first exposure, to be perfectly honest, to Miles Teller.
Oh, you didn't see the one with the drums?
No.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that is. The one with the drums.
That's the one that somebody won an Oscar for it. It might have been the lead actor won an Oscar for it. It's the one where he's the jazz drummer, and it's
okay.
Yeah. Somebody won an Oscar for it. And he was in that.
Was it the lady singer?
No. There's no singing. It's just a jazz band, and the guy who's the boss is maniacal.
Okay.
And
Whiplash.
Thank you. Whiplash.
Okay. No.
And so he gets he suffers the
brunt of it.
So that is probably his most up until this, and this was filmed, by the way, 3 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
So definitely had not seen that. So I just got exposed to him, and I've enjoyed him so far in The Offer. And then he was, and I've seen him in The Offer. So like the fact that they could turn it, and amazing what a mustache can do to somebody, but that they could make him look like he was Goose's son. Like that was very believable that he was Goose's son. And when he's singing Great Balls of Fire and the shades are down, I'm like, and they cut to the scene. I mean,
the shirt he's wearing, the Hawaiian shirt, untucked, unbuttoned, like Goose. Like it was
unreal. It's so good. Everything about it was so good. Every detail was so good. There are certain things, and I know this is kind of a very bizarre tangent, but obviously I was a big wrestling fan, right? And my buddy Vince was a big wrestling fan. We'd get the WWE games, and they'd include all these legends, and then we would notice like little things would be off about their trunks or their entrance. They would move not how they would in there. Like the details weren't perfect. It was still awesome. It was still good nostalgia, but it wasn't as good as it could be. In this one, absolutely, they had somebody who was on every single detail to make sure that they were all flawless and perfect. And Maverick was so perfectly on brand. Maverick, it's amazing to me that Tom Cruise kind of looks exactly like he did in the first.
Kind of.
Like exactly. Val Kilmer, not. And I realize he's gone through some tough things, but the fact that Tom Cruise has not aged normally at all is even more apparent when he's next to somebody who has aged.
Like a normal human,
like
over
a normal
35
person.
years. Yeah. There is no way. You're an emotional guy. I love it about you. There's no way you weren't welling up at the Maverick Iceman scene.
I cried probably 4 times. I cried, to be fair. Full disclosure, I'm a big crier. I don't, whatever, judge me. I don't care. I mean, they had an ad at the beginning of the thing for a group, for like a couple going on a date at the Cinemark, and one of the women was deaf, so they were signing, and they had the little screen up there.
Yeah.
And she was so I got emotional with that. Arden's like, oh my God, you're so crazy. So I'm like, and then as soon as the music hits, and it's the opening's kind of the same opening.
Yep.
The same text.
It's the same opening.
It is the same opening.
Even
I'm getting misty-eyed thinking about it. I'm like shaking Arden, shaking Miss K. I'm just like, this is unbelievable. And then I would kind of call some things. I'd be like, this is, oh God, and then it happened. I'm like, it's so perfect. It was so perfect.
Even the little stuff, like, I don't know if I'm sure you noticed this, but like they even had Don Simpson as a producer on it. Don Simpson's been dead for 30 years.
Throw his name in there.
His name's on there.
Absolutely.
Don Simpson, Jerry Bruckheimer production. Like it was. I think it is. It's perfect. I also think that it's. I think this is the other thing that it was, and this is a bigger picture thing, but I do think it is. I think that we're in an era now, and if you think about even the entertainment we consume and just how we consume everything, like where our attention is, with most things have an incredibly cynical tone to them, and it's almost like there has to be a lesson. You're waiting for the shoe to drop. Like in Endgame, spoiler alert, like Iron Man had to die, like somebody's got to die. And in this one, it was like, actually, no. Like, it's okay that everyone had the best time ever. Like, that was a pretty Now, and the other part of it is it was held over your head the whole time that it felt like it was gonna.
Yeah, like when before Hangman comes back.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, look, I hadn't seen it until yesterday, so I can't say if you haven't seen it, it's on you, but it kind of is. Like, it was on me that I hadn't seen it. That's my fault. My bad.
Well, even just from you can do big picture without spoilers for the people who are still on the fence. I don't know how you could ever
Don't be on the fence. Go.
Yeah, figure it out.
Go. But I would have liked if I had one note about that part, because I really enjoyed the Hangman character. I thought he was perfect. I thought he was a perfect young Iceman.
Yeah.
There's no way that he's not on that mission, by the way.
You were off. Gibby saw it, and we did a conversation about it. And he and I talked, and I said there is zero chance that Hangman is not flying that plane.
Zero.
No chance.
You need the top 4 pilots.
He was one of them.
Yes.
He was number 2
and
behind
honestly,
Maverick.
like Rooster might have been like 20th. So like, there's no way. Like,
Rooster's
for sure.
whole character was Mav post Goose's thing before he engaged.
Yeah,
like he just wouldn't engage. You wouldn't push it. He wasn't comfortable pushing the envelope.
Right.
Hangman was great and should have been there. And then I had to keep explaining to Miss K how their F-18s are different configurations. Some of them have the 2 because you need that guy to operate the laser sighting and be the Rio, and then some of them are just a single pilot. There's no doubt in my mind. Obviously, Hangman's on the mission. Fine. I would have. My one note was at that moment, I would have liked to see him disobey and go, because he said earlier, like, I want to go. Let me go help them, and they're like, no.
Oh, like him just go anyway.
And him just be like, because that would be what Mav would do. Iceman would have done the same thing because they knew it was right to just do it. Now, I'm guessing that, and it was funny, Miss K's whole time was like, why is John Hamm so mean to Maverick? And I'm like, because it's a movie. Like, he needs an antagonist. Like, you can't just be all easy for him. And she's like, yeah, but why? And I'm like, because that's why. They're not giving you any background. This guy's a little bit of a rebel in the Navy.
Yeah.
And certain people like him. Certain people don't. How anybody doesn't like him, I don't understand. All the guy does is deliver.
The establishment doesn't like him.
Whatever. Idiots.
Well,
he's the antagonist.
Modes liked him. He was Secretary of the Navy.
Yeah. It was, it's interesting, too, because there are so many. Did you have this at the end of it? Was there applause?
Oh, yeah. I was applause, crying.
Yeah.
I wanted to sit there and watch it again. Like, I wanted to immediately watch it again. I was like, I don't want to leave. I want to watch it again. So now I can really, now that I've got everything, now I can really focus in on even more of the nitty-gritty details because they were all there and they're all so good.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
So I think it's
a masterpiece.
The other thing about it is a master. The other thing is it's accessible for everybody.
Everybody.
Gibby took his parents. They loved it.
I
took
loved
my
it.
kids, who my youngest is 8. He loved it. Like the full range, it hits for everybody.
Yeah. And they even toned down a little bit of the romance, which was compared to the first.
One of the weirder love scenes.
Awful.
Both were, by the way. The first
though,
one and this one were both quite odd.
Bryce was like, cover your eyes, Nana. And like Nana was trying to cover his eyes. I was dying laughing. But it was, I really think it was a perfect movie. It's exactly why you go to the movies. I challenge anybody to have gone into that movie and left not feeling better about just
of course
life in general or being happier than they were when they walked in. It is an absolute thrill ride the entire time. The fact, and we were talking about this when you said that your kids were like, well, we've seen this in Marvel. Like, this was real. They were flying those planes. They had a guy, and then last night I'm just consuming everything that I could read about how they made these. And the one scene, he's like, that we had a Blue Angels pilot who was literally flying 50 feet above the water.
Crazy.
He's like, that was real. They were flying 50 feet. That is no margin for error. Zero.
I didn't even know, like, it's amazing how far we've come from, from a technology standpoint in terms of what planes can do.
Well, you saw
like those 5th generation ones that did like that crazy Cobra thing. Like, I'm going, that's possible. Like, the last time that I saw planes in the air was Top Gun. So that's 35 years ago. Like Mav taking a Hornet between 2, like when he just slices between Hangman and whoever else is up there, like that's real stuff. That's like when they're flying those F-18s on that river bottom, and you're like, how is that possible? Well, they did it, so that's how it's possible. They did it. But we hadn't seen any of that stuff in so long.
No, and what was super cool to me, so that is the Sukhoi Su-57 Felon, which is now was the chosen jet of the mysterious bad guys. It's a Russian-manufactured plane. It's one of the world's leading combat planes in terms of realism. It's a beast. It's a stealth aircraft. It says more than a worthy adversary for any of the thing that we would be flying.
We have to have an equivalent of that.
Well, we have the F-35, which is now which made a brief cameo in the movie. It was on the flight deck, but they did not fly them, which is way advanced from the Hornet. The Hornet's been around for a long time. Hornets were around when the first Top Gun was made.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's an old plane. Now it's the F-35, which is actually what the Modes' son flies.
Amazing.
And what'd they say? The required planes that could seat to the real pilot and the actor being filmed in the second seat. Filming during actual flights rather than simulations was an essential part of Top Gun's production. The same went for the sequel. The F-35 is just truly a single pilot plane. So there's no
Rio. Yeah, there's no reason to ever have that.
Well, there's no reason. So they flew in the movie. 2 of them were flown single.
Yeah, and 2
were flown double, but they needed a 2-seater plane because even the guys who were flying single, there was actually a real pilot flying the plane. They were there.
Right.
And then they would switch with Bob and Phoenix, one with the real pilot, one with not, to get all the shots. But that's truly a 1-seater. Like, there wasn't room for the actor.
Yeah. It's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable.
It's pure joy throughout.
So here's the other thing I said.
There's not a single moment that I think you could say, we'll take that out. That's no good. It was all great.
When you talk about outrageous experiential types of things, okay, the number one thing on my bucket list will always and forever and most likely unfulfilled be, you've done it, is to, and not necessarily with the Blue Angels, but what I would love to do is like take off from a carrier and land on a carrier and just fly in a military jet.
Yeah.
But that is so far and above number one for me, anything else that you could even possibly throw at me.
Yeah.
Like playing you get to play at Augusta. Okay, great. Still golf. I've golfed. I've never flown in one of those things. You've done it. The Miz has done it. Miz said it was the greatest thing ever. You said it was the greatest thing ever.
Yeah.
Insane.
I wish I had perspective. I was like 22 when I did it. Like that. I didn't have the perspective I have now to do it. Like it was something that was sprung on me quickly. It was like, yeah, you're doing this, and okay. And that was it. Like there was no, I didn't have a time to prepare or appreciate.
But I would be pumped.
Yeah.
But to take off of a carrier, I don't know that there's anything like that that to me, that would be, listen, I'll settle for flying right off of a perfect runway and all of that. But that is so far and away number one on my bucket list. Always.
I think that so you have this universal, like, it's just pure joy in a time when there's a lot of cynicism. You have an ability for everybody to watch it. The only person that would have the power to be able to do this with a film is Cruise. He's the only one who could single-handedly this thing was shot 3 years ago, who could say, no, it ain't going to streaming.
No.
This sucker is going to go. When people go back to theaters, that's when we'll have it. I don't care how long we have to wait. He's the one force of nature who could actually do that.
And he was right.
Of course he was right, but
and I love how
it's a bold play.
I love how he did the little thing at the beginning, like thanking everybody for coming to the theater and seeing it. Did you think it was a little weird that it felt like he was reading? Yes.
Like
he was reading because he wasn't looking straight. Like
you couldn't just off the cuff say thanks for coming.
Yeah,
you're Tom Cruise.
We worked so hard. Then he's like the producers and the cast.
Right. Yeah. It was
strange. A lot. But I will say they had smart. Obviously, there's a new Mission Impossible coming out. That was in the previews. My kids were all like, "That looks fun."
Sure.
I'm like, "Guess what, guys? We have a whole franchise of these that we can watch.
These are all fun. They're all fun.
And now they love Tom Cruise now. So I'm like, well, we're gonna start with the original Mission Impossible, and then we're gonna go right on through.
Yeah.
And the new one looks great. It does look fantastic.
And he does all of his own stuff. He clearly has a death wish. Like he's clearly trying to die filming something with all the stunts he's doing and everything.
I mean,
it's
the one
crazy.
he did in Mission Impossible where he was kind of like, I know it wasn't totally free climbing, but where he was hanging from the rock in that opening scene, that's
crazy. Well, he did the one off the tower in Dubai too.
Yeah.
And did that one where he just hanging from the plane and the one mission. Yeah, I mean, it's great. It is. There's every single casting thing that was crushed.
Perfect.
It was perfect. Yeah, it really was. It's joy.
It was great too. Very brief role, but Ed Harris was perfect. And in fact, I would have liked Ed Harris to have been John Hamm. I think I might have enjoyed that more.
My guess is Ed Harris wanted to get like $1.5 million for about 8 hours of work.
Probably.
And justifiably so.
He crushed it. But Hamm was to me, here was the problem. Ham looks like he would be similar in age to Maverick.
Yeah.
So he would know Iceman and would know how, and he had a call sign.
No,
so
he knew Iceman, and it was just the respect he had for him. He's actually younger. The crazy thing is, Ham looked older, but is probably 10 years younger.
Of course.
Than
but
Cruz.
I just feel like a
Cruz
contemporary
probably
would know how great Maverick was. Truly great he was.
Yeah, but
He's the best pilot in the world.
He was, but there was also probably the other part of it was if you're Cyclone and you're much like Iceman, but you don't have the personal experience with Maverick, you might be like, why does this guy keep being allowed to do this stuff? Like he keeps breaking all of our rules.
Because he's the only guy that shot down 3 enemy planes.
No, I get
in the whole thing because
I'm
he's
just
the
saying,
best.
if you don't have somebody pushing back, then you got nothing.
Well, of course.
And it's, by the way,
but I like an old crusty guy pushing back. That's more fun for me.
I mean, it was I thought it was pretty good. The when he just hops on the track when he's giving the speech about now. By the way, what a sell point that was. So now instead of 2 minutes, we're going to do this in 4, acknowledging it's a dogfight. A lot of you are going to die. That's the way that goes. We're going to go higher and slower.
And he's like, no, I'm going to go in 2:15 right now, and we're all going to watch it in class.
Yeah.
And I love the guy in the back who's like, yeah, like the other CO type
Warlock.
guy. Yeah, Warlock was
tremendous,
phenomenal.
Hondo's
great. His boy Hondo, great. I mean,
here's one thing. I don't want to give too much talk to this. Can you survive a Mach 10 crash?
So here's my guess.
We need Previtz on that.
Of course not. Do you know how fast Mach 10 is?
Yeah, it's like 7,000 miles an hour. I've looked into all of this. After I watched it with the boys, I started to get into this.
7,673.
Because the boys asked me when we were done watching, they're like, Dad, what's the fastest anybody's ever flown a plane? And there's a NASA plane that goes like Mach 9 or something like that, but it's unmanned.
Yeah.
So there's one that's like somebody did like Mach
5, I think they got to.
Yeah, something. But it was a long ways from Mach 10.3 or
half.
whatever he gets to.
It's math. It's literally half.
Correct. So like there is a theory. Do you know this theory?
No.
Did you stumble into this yesterday?
No. I was focused on how they did it all. I wasn't.
Yeah.
And it's funny. My kids were like, "What is that plane?" And at first I looked at them like, "That's an SR-71." And then I was like, "It's not. It must be a new SR-71." And it turns out it was made just for the movie.
Just for
it's
this.
not a real plane.
All right. So we've got a
So
lot.
no, does he survive that? So look.
All right. So Previtz saying Previtz is on it.
Once you eject, though, you're not moving Mach 10 by the time you hit the ground.
He says it's very fast. It depends on the design of the cockpit.
Right.
But it also, like, he was up there for a while. So, like, would he be in Hong Kong?
Like, so you're going 7,000 miles an hour, right? So
you're zipping.
Hold on a second.
For 10 minutes.
Give me real quick. Okay, so you want to call it 10 minutes?
It felt like he was up there for 10 minutes, right? Because he was slowly going from, it was Mach 8. By the way, just
so
writing on a calendar.
He's only gone 1,300 miles in 10 minutes.
Well, that's a hike from, I mean, like, where are you landing?
It looked like it
Like
appeared
Oregon?
to me, by the way, where did he take off from? On the East Coast somewhere?
No. He was in.
Where was he?
No, they're in the, remember, they're in the Mojave.
Yeah, they were
in the Mojave. You're right. Yeah. So he's in California.
somewhere
it appeared that he
like
landed in like
Washington?
Montana is what it felt like.
Could have been. But then he was back in front of Ed Harrison, felt like the same day.
No time.
That was quick.
Well, listen, if you're going just Mach 1, that would only take, 100 minutes. So
the thing, I'm not. There's no reason to. It's just sensational.
Here we go. Hold on.
I'm glad you finally saw it.
Hold on. Let me do this for you. Let's see what from the Mojave Desert. Okay, Mojave.
Previtz, Montana.
That's what I said. It looked like Montana.
Yeah.
Mojave Desert. Directions to.
You could get to like. My guess is you'd get to like, I don't know, Anaconda, Montana. Something like that.
Let's just. I'm gonna look up Billings just as a.
Well, that's not as mountainous. So you do Bozeman.
Bozeman. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it just so happens to be 1,100 miles to Billings. So
okay, so similar.
So similar. Yeah, Montana. That's what it looked like to me. It felt like my homeland when I recognized the people in there. Where are you from? Bozeman's only 971, so a little bit past Bozeman.
Previtz is fact checking you as you're doing.
Yeah, he goes Montana. It does work.
The math works.
We're on it.
I'm glad you saw it.
I think that once he ejects, though, it's the cockpit's got to get out of the way quickly. Is what he's saying. You're ejecting. You're going to have obviously some. You're flying with it for a while, but then the parachute's going to engage, and you're going to slow down.
I would think almost like the cockpit, the cockpit would have to be enclosed separate from the craft, like a separate, like it was almost protected from the rest of the craft.
Yeah, well, you saw the fire going around.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
Yeah.
It was perfect. It was perfect. It was perfect. It was everything. It was like, I don't think I could have. I had one team. I wanted Hangman to disobey, to go out there because I really enjoyed Hangman's character. But other than that, and by the way, that guy was perfect. I don't know. That guy.
So him and
that
Teller,
guy should be a star in something.
Him and Teller were both up for the Rooster part.
He's too good.
They picked between the two of them.
Well,
for
he's
the
too
Rooster
good looking
part.
to be Rooster. He's Iceman.
Yeah.
He should have somehow been Iceman's kid. Like, I would have believed that 100%.
Yeah. It's amazing that a lot of the stuff that we talked about, even like dogfight football, which was insane game.
I was dying. I'm like,
this makes no
offense
sense.
and defense at the same time.
Yeah. No idea if this makes
By the
any
way,
sense.
nobody was playing defense in that. All I saw were touchdowns.
It was just this way.
Yeah,
Like,
it was just
feels
touchdowns.
like
touchdowns.
who's tackling? And yet somehow anytime somebody got the ball, the whole team tackled them. And I'm like, well, what about the ball going that way? I couldn't make any sense of that. Here's the thing that's most remarkable to me about it, other than everything we've already talked about. Most of this stuff that we're talking about could have come across very corny. None of it was. None of it was. And I remember coming out of it when I saw it in the IMAX at Columbus. I almost fought a kid. A 16-year-old kid said I've never been in a fight. I was almost fought a kid over. He said it to his dad that it was corny, and I wanted to throw him through a window.
I'll tell you what. Had I heard anything, when I went out in the hall, it was like pure joy. It was like we walked out, and it was like a party.
Yeah.
It was like I walked into a party in the hallway outside the theater. Everybody's high-fiving. People are fired up.
So great.
Oh, man.
Crushed it. Previs points out that he also would have had to walk from the crash site, so that there would have been a lot more time it took before you're getting in front of Ed Harris on that one. It is a mailbag edition of Cleveland Browns Daily. Tweet us the questions to us at Browns_Daily. We did talk – I don't know where this – we talked about this yesterday, Gibby, the Tyler Dragon thing on which was just an incredible thing, the Ndamukong Suh stuff, which – it was quickly rebuffed by a lot of people. But then one thing that we did say is like, well, who knows? Like, if you're in camp and Sue's like, hey, I'd like to play for you, I'm sure you take the call. It's just a matter. It's just not something you're pursuing.
Sure. We're doing, one of the things we're doing, Gibbe, I want to hear about your experience with the written word, because I think that's very exciting. I know we have the tight end position preview coming up, and I got a 2-minute drill on that, and Poisal wrote an article on it. But we're also doing 10 questions for training camp, and the first one was, what is the biggest position battle in camp? And for me, I said defense tackle. I said it's the only starting spots on the defense that are not 100% locked in, solidified.
Yeah. We'll also do 10 most intriguing teams. That series kicks off today with a look at the Arizona Cardinals. So you have that to look forward to, which is very, very nice. It's a mailbag, as we mentioned. We'll go around the league.
I thought we said
training
12
camp preview.
teams.
Maybe 13. Who knows? Baker's dozen. We're off and running.
How much is that? 12.
Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland.
It's a trick question.
It is. It does kind of feel like the next level's next.
Feels like show's over. Go watch Top Gun. What are we doing here?
What else do you need to do here?
Camp's not starting for.
We got plenty of time. You got plenty of
13
time.
days.
You got a ton of time on this thing.
It's safe.
Yeah, way safe. The Bath Authority
Safe.
gives you the bathroom of your dreams. Why not transform your current bathroom into that custom bath you've always wanted for that spa-like experience? They can do it for you in about a day.
Put a TV in there. Watch Maverick.
Whenever it streams, you'll be ready. Let the Bath Authority make it a reality for you at a fraction of the cost of the competitors. The Bath Authority is our area's premier bath and shower remodeler. Expert factory-trained installers. Give them a call now. $500 off your next custom bath or shower remodel. Call 216-220-8399 or go to thebathauthority.com. It's where affordability meets quality. The largest selection of bath projects are all made in the United States. Change your bathroom from outdated to outstanding in about a day. You need a tub to shower conversion. They can do that too. Superior Products expert installers at thebathauthority.com at 216-220-8399. $500 off your next custom bath or shower remodel. All right, let's go quickly around the league here, my friend. Did you see this morning with the Bengals? They're going to wear the white Bengals. Crushed it.
Yeah.
Crushed it.
A+.
Yeah,
I mean, and the video was A+, like it was a nature guy.
Richard
with
Attenborough sounding guy.
Totally, yeah. And we discovered the white Bengal. I mean, it was awesome. And it's going to be sick. I've always thought, you and I talked about this actually, I think a couple years ago, and maybe we were ahead of our time, but when they came out with that white-black color rush, we said it should have a white lid with the black stripes, and it would be perfect. And they're like, yeah, we agree.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Yeah, they nailed it. It's awesome.
We told them about Burrow.
We did. We told them about maybe giving them too much.
Too much
information.
Too much. Told them about Larry Ogunjobi. It was great for him.
They got a lot of swag. I mean, because Jamar and Joe are pretty swaggy, and now
Mixon.
Yeah, they got a lot. They got a lot going on. It's a great look. I did see, you and I have talked, I think the first time that you and I have brought up the white helmet to luminaries on this show.
That's right.
Out loud.
It has to be. It's actually historically in our catalog.
Right.
So it's got to be only a matter of time.
I saw people, people are sometimes crazy, like this notion that we've only worn the orange helmet, and it's just not true.
Wrong.
Otto wore the white one, and it would look sensational. I saw it mocked up a little bit yesterday. Someone was doing it on social.
And more for you, Cleveland, I think is who it was.
Did they have it? Yeah. But the 75th.
Yeah, with the whites. Stop it.
That's
Perfect.
it. It's
perfect.
Really, really quite strong.
It's
to say the least.
I'd like to, and I think this is a great thing that's going to happen around the league. Some are going to be like okay, like the Texans red. I like it better than their blue helmet. I really do, but it's okay. It doesn't change anything. You love a white. You do.
I just love white helmets. I think they look incredible.
Yeah, of course,
especially
they should do what we said.
Clean.
The Texans uniform in Oilers colors with the white. That would be perfect. Some teams, I don't know that they would do anything, although I could see, for example, a Raiders white over their white top with the silver pants. Could be a cool-looking one, like an old
Raiders
school.
black would look probably pretty.
Black helmet would be.
Black helmet for them would be
over
pretty
the black
ridiculous.
lid.
With the black top.
Yes.
That's a lot going on.
Yeah.
That's a Darth Vader look. That feels like
and I would even like, you wouldn't like this. I would like this because you don't like as much on non-traditional.
I don't like black where you don't have it in your color scheme.
So the Niners color rush is a black uni with just red. If they had a matte black helmet with just the red on
don't they have a black?
They don't have a black helmet. They wear the gold helmet with that color
like the
rush.
Buckeyes wear
ridiculous.
that. The Buckeyes wear the black helmet when they wear with the black uniform.
But if they had the black helmet with just the red, it would look awesome.
Yeah.
Over that black and red uni. That'd be a cool look for them. And that'd be a one-off. That's not a traditional look for them.
Yeah. I think you're right, though. I think there's going to be a mix of creamsicle and then modern age. Like there's going to be kind of a mix of all
and the
of
Broncos got to go to the blue.
I mean, I don't know what would ever take you so long. Like why wouldn't you be ready to launch that as soon as this? Everyone knew this rule, the 2-lid rule, was going to go away. How are you not ready with that? Like you have a chance to put Russell Wilson in the blue with. What are you doing?
And I believe I might be wrong about this, but I thought the Eagles in their history had a white lid at one point.
Yeah.
See, that would be sweet. The white lid with the green.
Yeah.
Feather.
Yeah. I think the reason I like white for us so much on the lid is that just look at how clean the all white is so strong, but it's that one of my favorite uniforms in all the sports is the Texas uniform. The white Texas uniform. It's so crisp.
What face mask would you put on our white? Because I think traditionally it had a gray.
I would do white or gray. Yeah. I mean, Texas wears a white helmet with a white face mask. It looks awesome.